disclosure. Sober disclosure. Breezy's a slut.
And we like it in the butt.
Are you or someone you know looking for support in recovery? Taste Recovery is your go-to directory for sober resources. Whether you're searching for treatment centers or sober living communities, Taste Recovery connects you with the right tools and support to help you on your journey. With a user-friendly platform and a comprehensive list of resources, Taste Recovery makes finding the help you need easier than ever. Start building your path to a healthier, sober life today. Visit tasterecovery.com to find the resources that work for you. Taste Recovery, your first step to a lasting positive change.
How do we fix it?
Yeah, that's good.
There we go.
Let me see. Do a little on this side, just like that. Yeah, that's better.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Because it was like this.
Yeah, then it's
flat.
Yeah, it squeezes your hairs in.
Okay.
Hi everyone, I'm Breezy.
And I'm Jimmy.
And we are
Sober
Disclosure.
We're here with a beautiful meth baby from Palmdale. Amber, is your name Amber?
That's me.
Amberlita.
Yeah.
Currently residing in the Ramada Inn.
Yeah.
Just the classy.
The Red Roof Inn.
The Red Roof Inn.
Just the classiest for a Palmdale baby.
Yeah.
Okay, so Amber.
Hi.
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 This is one of my best friends. Ain't she pretty?
Thank you so much.
And this is one of my new friends.
Yes. Thank you so much.
Okay, so tell us, how much time sober do you have?
I have 10 years. Over
10 years?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What month are we in? Are we in April? 10 years and 4 months.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Damn,
She's
you're
a
still,
December baby.
You're still fucked up at 10 years?
Uh-huh. Yep. Just a little bit less now.
Just a little bit.
So is this your first time getting sober?
Yes, trying, but
Trying.
no, there was relapse. Relapse is part of my story, so.
Okay, so
Mhm.
but no significant amount of sobriety before this time.
No.
How much time sober did you have? Like little months here
I
and
would
there?
I would have like 2 months and then I would relapse. I'd go out and drink and then I'd have like a couple days and then relapse. And then at that
this
point.
is in 12-step program.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well, I got a nudge from the judge, so
Okay,
I
okay.
was introduced to AA. So yeah, I would drink, and then I'd be like, okay, well, I have to go back, and yeah, for a while I was totally unwilling, and yeah, until I was finally willing to get sober.
What led you to that point?
Finally admitting that I was powerless over alcohol, because for a really long time I thought that everyone was against me. I was always a problem drinker, but like I never realized the problem was me. And so it was just everyone just needed to get off my back. And yeah, and so it was bad. And yeah, there was accidents and injuries and all the things very quickly. Like within 6 months it got really, really, really gnarly. So yeah, and in 6 months I was going in and out of AA and taking dirty chips and just like still doing the deal though, because I knew I didn't want to live that way anymore. I just didn't know how to stop. I also didn't want to follow suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so I went in and out until December 28th of 2014.
December 28th.
Mm-hmm.
December 28th.
December
right
28th.
before New Year's Eve.
And
Yep.
right after your presents.
Right after, yeah. No, it's such a mess.
You probably used all your money to buy stuff one last
I
time.
didn't have any money.
The Christmas money.
Yeah,
What you're
Christmas money.
Yeah.
You didn't have any money.
No, I didn't have any money.
Did your parents like?
They
What was that last Christmas like before you got sober?
It was anxiety ridden. So like the whole Christmas, so we go to Simi Valley for Christmas, and like the whole Christmas I was just thinking about wanting to drink.
Mm-hmm.
That was still when I was in like my really bad, and so I think I made it, I think that night I didn't drink. It was the next night. I think it was the next night that I ended up. I had a boyfriend that was like, he was all for me drinking until shit got serious, and then he was like, wait, and then my parents got involved and like talked to him and was like, Amber can't drink, and then she was like, and then he was like, wait, you can't drink, and yeah, until it got really serious, and then it was Christmas was just anxiety ridden. It was there's alcohol always around, like my family all drinks, and minus my immediate family, which is super important in my story. Like I never grew up with alcohol around the house. I never had any reason to drink.
Religious or they're sober?
No, they're sober. They're sober. Yeah. So my mom has like 37 years. Wait, I'm 10. No, not 37. She's got 32 years sober.
We have to have her on the podcast.
I'm like, wait, let me do the math. Yeah, no, really. She
tell
like,
us the real Amber.
No, I know. Oh my God. She would have a field day. Yeah, she's got 32 years, and my dad just didn't drink because my mom doesn't drink. Yeah, nice. And so my dad never had a problem, and so like they did what they did back then. But yeah, so I never grew up with alcohol around the house. It was like, and also it was never like, don't do alcohol because it's really bad. It was always, we were always able to like do whatever we wanted,
like experiment and stuff.
Totally, yeah.
Nice.
An experiment she did.
An experiment I did.
Yeah. I also just want to point out that what is that? Stanley is Amber's, and it says "Welcome to the shit show."
Yeah. Is that not perfect? I also have professional overthinker because.
Oh my God, I love it.
That is me. That is me.
Professional overthinker.
Yeah.
Darn tootin'.
Darn tootin'. You got that right.
These are stickers on her Stanley cup.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. And
because
it represents you so well.
Yeah, I just like to preface to everyone before.
Does that one say dominate me?
No. Hell yeah.
Did you dominate?
Just right there. It says
But did you document it?
Did you dominate it? Yeah. No, it's document.
Did you document it?
Yeah.
That's very cute. Okay, sorry, we totally sidetracked. Okay, so 10 years ago, bring us back to that first year. Because Amber actually does listen to our podcast.
I do.
She knows what to expect.
I do. I sure do. Yeah. So when I first got this is like when I first got sober. I was in and out. I never really like consider it sobriety because I wasn't doing anything. No. And yeah, in the beginning, I got sober in Palmdale, California, which was like very hardcore. And I think that's why at first I was not ready. I was just fully unwilling. But when I was so like desperate in the way that I felt in my head, like I was broken. I was broken and no one wanted to be around me anymore. And for someone that grew up, like I never needed the alcohol. Like I was always outgoing. I was always, I was always the life of the party without the alcohol. So when I first got sober, it was pretty gnarly. Like and I'll try not to get emotional already. Oh my God. But I'm probably going to. But my sister, and so my sister is a total normie. Like literally,
twin sister.
Yeah, twin sister.
You have a twin sister?
Twin sister, yeah.
I wonder if your husband pictures both of you.
No,
they're fraternal.
Yeah, we are. We're very fraternal.
Oh.
She's like 5'2" and brown hair and just an angel sent from heaven. I love her, but. Yeah, when I first got sober, my sister, she was the only one that, that stuck by my side, and like, I put her through hell, and my mom too, but like my sister primarily, I'd like call her just like, so she carried I'm sure like carried so much, pain and like fear for me. And a lot of it, like, she didn't want to like, say either, like she didn't want to like tell anyone that she was worried about me, but like she really knew like how bad I was. And so in the beginning I had my sister and I had my mom and my dad, of course, and and like I had so much wreckage because of the DUI. So I got a DUI and I crashed my car into a pole and on Sierra Highway, and literally in the middle of nowhere at like 5 a.m. on a Friday morning. And I immediately got rushed to the hospital. I don't know how I didn't go to jail, but I was concussed and like unwell. And so, yeah, a lot of it was like community labor, and like my first community service was at the Moose Lodge, which is like a drinking place. And which is it's so ironic that they scheduled me there, but like, so that I had the community labor, community service. I went to meetings. I like in the beginning of my sobriety, I was so done, and I knew that I needed to change the way that I was doing shit. The first, like, when I got introduced to AA and like tried to get sober, it just wasn't working for me. So I did that nonstop, and I would literally walk 2 miles from like my community labor or my little moose lodge at the bar with a bunch of old guys and like just like cleaning around the area in the morning, and then walk to my AA, like walk to my meetings, and I would just do that back and forth. Like I didn't have a car because I crashed it. And so my mom would drop me off before work, and she'd be like, I'll pick you up at whatever time. And then she'd pick me up. My mom took me all around, like fucking everywhere, in order to like get this shit done. I'm so grateful that like I had family that was like there, because a lot of people, like, I was so, at the end of my drinking, I was so alone, and I literally felt, even though I always had my family, I felt so alone. Like no one understood, and like my mom fully understood, and I just was so, when you're in your addiction, you just, I was selfish, so selfish, and just didn't.
You didn't think about it.
No, not at all. So yeah, it was a lot. It was hard. It was hard, and I just had to put one foot in front of the other, and I like lived in meetings. So that's, I literally, like from the morning, afternoon, and then in the evening times, there was like a 10 p.m. meeting. So it'd be like me and then 2 guys, like 2 old guys, and like, and I love them still to this day. I see them, and we'd have a candlelight meeting in Palmdale, like in the middle of the Palmdale. It's not like the great area of Palmdale either, but I just did it. And like, thank God, like my home group was like very, like, I would, even before my sobriety date, when I was going in and out, I'd go in and like, they knew that I had relapsed, even if I didn't say it, but like, they always loved me, always. And I literally, I remember feeling really guilty for that, because I was like, why do you guys care? Like, why do you care so much about whether I like stay or go? But it also helped me. It's helped me to stay accountable, because there was people that loved me. Yeah. Even though I didn't believe it yet, I heard it all the time.
Do you think they did that saying, we'll love you
until you love yourself? Yes. No, absolutely. Always. Which I didn't love myself back then. I was so codependent on like people, places, things. Like I didn't even know who I was. Yeah. I literally didn't know. And I don't think it's because of a young age either. I think that, well, that could have been part of it, but also it's just like I was so lost in my addiction that I like needed alcohol. I felt as though I needed alcohol to like do anything. Yeah.
So. And you got sober at 21?
I was 21 and a half, yeah.
That is young.
I got my DUI. It was 13 days before my 21st birthday. So yeah, I was in that. And then I still, like, my parents were like, let's just go. We'll take you guys away. Me and my twin sister, because we have the same birthday. She was like, we'll take you to Tahoe and like get away from it. So my parents still were like, they were always there. So the like, it's like, it was crazy. I was thinking back on this just last night, and I was just like, my parents were always there, and like throughout my addiction, and always there even in the beginning when I was like fucking up and like falling or like all the things. They were still so loving and kind to me that nobody ever forced sobriety on me. Like that was just not my, like, part of my story. So it was all me. It was like I had to be willing to get sober. Yeah. So, which I feel like I needed that 6 months of like just fucking disaster in order to like be like, okay, I think I'm done now. Like I can't do this anymore on my own.
Well, and I think too, when you're trying so hard to stop and you can't stop, it makes you realize even more like, oh, maybe they're right.
Yeah.
Because I actually am trying and it's not working.
Yeah. Well, and even the night before I got sober, I had told my parents, you know, I'm going to go with the boy. It was the boyfriend, the boyfriend that, you know, decided to, I was still with that boyfriend, you know, whatever. But I was like, oh, I'm going to stay the night at his house. And they were like, okay, don't drink. Because anytime I went out, I drank. I either came back drunk or the next morning my parents could smell the alcohol. And so, yeah, like that night I was like, I'm going to stay the night. And they're like, okay, don't drink. And I'm like, I won't, with full like intent on like drinking. I don't know how I was going to do it because we were only going to his house, but some way I was able to finagle and talk him into like going to my friend's house, which there was a party at. And, and I'm like, we're just going to say hi. He doesn't know any of them. And I'm like, these are like all of my still drinking buddies that I'm like just kind of still hanging out with. I still really need to like find any way to drink. And you know, we got into the house and like I beelined. And that's all I remember because I am a blackout drinker. So like I beelined to the kitchen. I don't know if I took shots. I don't know what it was. I don't remember my last drink. And yeah, I just remember the morning of, I guess my phone had died the morning of my sobriety date. My phone had died, so they called him. And my dad said, you guys didn't drink last night, right? Like, how's everyone doing? You guys didn't drink last. And he says, I'll let you talk to her. I still remember, he literally goes to pass it. And I'm like, I'm like, you told on me. I was so pissed. And yeah, it was a bad day. And so that's why, like, I never want to feel the way that I felt that morning. I still, and like 10 years ago, it's still, it's like so real to me because I remember the hurt. And wow, I didn't think I was gonna get this emotional. I saw the hurt in my dad's eyes, and he just held me. And when I finally got home, I like rushed. I was like, oh shit, I don't know what to do anymore because I can't run from anything anymore. And so I ran home. I started packing my shit. This is intense, so I'm gonna try to like talk through it, but I like start packing shit. I'm just leaving, like I'm just out because I'm a runner, like that's what I do. And you know, I'm packing all my shit, and my dad's like, don't. My mom's like, if you're gonna go, because like she's got some program in her, so she's like, if you're gonna go, then go. Like, we'll give you a head start. Your probation officer's on call. Like, I'll call her. Like, my mom just like, and so I don't know. It was literally like they knew exactly whatever that mix of my mom and dad, what they did too, like. Because they saved me from like, God knows where I'd be if it wasn't for that morning. But my dad just held me and he's like, you don't want to leave. Like, you don't want to leave. And I didn't. I was so full of fear. And like, I was scared to not be able to drink anymore. Like, that was it. It wasn't like fear of being in trouble. It was like, I don't want to not drink anymore. Yeah. And yeah, and I like slept that whole day. And then like, I ended up going to a meeting that night. And I remember raising my hand. All I could get out was, I fucked up. Like, I said, I fucked up. And they were like, oh, Amber, and you know, and whatever. But I was done. You know, it wasn't like all the other times where I'm like, oh, I'll just take a chip, or when I just didn't say anything, you know. It's like I really meant it. I fucked up, and I'm like willing now. Yeah. So yeah, it was gnarly, but here we are now.
I love your dad. I don't even know.
I know.
Him, but that's so beautiful.
No, I love him. I love him too. I love both my parents. They have always, I've had the best support for sure in my sobriety. My story is not as like, that's why I'm so grateful, because I've always had always had my parents by my side. And
yeah, me too.
Yeah, and it was gnarly. They fucking drove me everywhere. Like, my sister drove me to and my mom drove me to every single meeting. Like, my mom was the one that walked me into my meeting, the very first meeting, like before I obviously decided to stay sober. But she was like, we're gonna go to the Palmdale group. And I swear to God, if I would have like had anyone else drive me there, I would have made my exit. Like, I would have found a way out, or like gotten sick.
Manipulated the situation.
Oh, 100%. My mom's like,
yeah. Cute.
Yeah. She's like,
you want to leave?
She's like, you can walk in front of me. She'll catch me. Yeah.
So then you got sober. This is your first year. You did all the things you're supposed to do, meaning like go to the meetings, walk. So after you did that, you had relapsed again.
No.
So that was the last time, was that?
Yeah.
So then you did all the things. Once you graduated from that, like, when did you get a sponsor? Like, when did you start doing the actual work?
So pretty soon into being in the program, I was super involved in events. So I was like, I would do like the Palmdale group mop up, and I would just mop the floor. Oops, sorry. I would just like mop the floors, or I would like, because I just didn't want to drink. And so I knew that I like needed to be at that hall in order to not drink for that time being, because I didn't have a sponsor at that time. And there was a woman that came in. I remember she shared, and I just like, I wanted what she had, because she was like a little scary, but like also like a mom figure to me. So she told me, she asked me if I needed a sponsor.
Oh, really?
And I was like, yeah. And I was like, yes, I do. I said, yes, I do. And we went to the Denny's.
How could you tell?
I know. I was like, yes, ma'am, I do. And so we went to the Denny's, and I remember I was like, I was like, I don't want to be here. Because like, I don't know why. It was the ego. It was all ego. Because I was like,
why? Because you took her to Denny's?
Yeah, no, not the Denny's. Because,
and not like
because we
Morton's
were
Steakhouse?
reading, because we were reading in the Denny's, or like just even talking about alcoholism in public. I don't even think we brought the big book.
Oh,
I think that just because we were talking about it in public, I was like, I don't even know who's sitting behind me right now, but it could be like my high school friend.
Loud. You're
yeah,
too loud.
I'm like, calm it down. Literally.
This
and
is a small town.
Right. No, it is. It is. And so I just remember being so full of fear and like all of the things. And I remember after that, though, we left and then we went to go to our cars and she gave me a big hug and she said, I love you. And I'm like, what? And so I was like, I love you too. And I like lost it and I love her. But she moved like 2 months after I got her as a sponsor. So she was moving to Vegas and she said, you need to get a sponsor before I leave. And I was like, okay. So we're sitting in the meeting and there's like the intermission from the 5 o'clock meeting to the 7 o'clock, whatever, doesn't matter. She's like, who do you want? And by that time I did change my community labor. So I was now I went from the bar, from the janitor at the bar to I was cleaning at a, what's it called? It's a forest. I'm going to forget.
A national forest?
Yeah, it's a national forest on Pear Blossom. I just can't remember what it's called.
What's next to Palmdale?
The desert. And then if you keep going, you get some trees. So we go up the trees and Devil's Punch Bowl. It's called Devil's Punch Bowl. So I lucked out and I ended up just picking up trash in Devil's Punch Bowl, which was amazing, amazing. But there was a ranger there and I recognized her.
Whoa.
And so, yeah.
And she was at the meeting.
Yes.
Oh.
Yes. And so we didn't talk about it ever. We didn't ever talk about it at Devil's Punch Bowl. And so we just do our thing. And I'm like next to 2 other convicts, homies, like whatever. We're just like all doing community service in our little truck because we have to pick up I have the whole thing. And we're during the meeting and I'm almost done with my community labor too because I was concerned. Again, this is all fear. This is all like non-existent fear this is what happens in my head. I'm like, she's going to say no because like conflict of interest where like I didn't even ask. And so she says, go call her because she was there. She was in the meeting. So she's like, go call her over. And she's like, hey, she calls her over. And she said, hey, Amber has something to ask you. And I'm like, I was just wondering because she's leaving. Will you be my sponsor? And she's like, of course. And she's like, she was so not like she wasn't like me in any way, shape, or form. But I wanted what she had. She like had this zen and like she would like go to like concerts all the time and I just loved her. And and so I did my step work with her and like I've done my step work a few times in my sobriety, but like that was exactly what I needed at that time. Like she read the book with me and we would be outside under a tree and like I was able to heal a lot of like the main resentments that like in all of like the guilt that I had, like the main guilt that I had was able to I was able to make amends to my family, which like that was fucking huge because like I can say I'm sorry, but like if I'm not putting any action behind it, they don't give a shit. And like that's not the first time they've heard I'm sorry, from me. So to say that, to mean it, and then to also like have a living amends with my family and them see the change in
then
me.
your mom's probably waiting for it.
Well, no, yeah. Oh,
she's
yeah.
like, I'm waiting for
no,
this
yeah.
amends.
She's like, so I was just wondering what step
are you in?
Yeah, no, but like, yeah, it was incredible. And
I have a question.
Yes, ma'am.
The boyfriend that you were with right before you got sober, did you guys stay in a relationship?
We sure did.
Oh.
We sure did.
So you were getting sober and also still with the guy that you were drinking with.
Mm-hmm.
What was that like?
Yeah, so
was he like normal, like just a normal drinker?
No,
okay.
I wouldn't say he was in the army, so I wouldn't say he was a normal drinker, but he also was like once I got sober and was like I am gonna get sober, he was supportive of it.
Oh,
like
nice.
He definitely was not like, oh, are you sure you don't? He was like, oh no, like you obviously have a problem, so you get sober. So that was like, it definitely he had no interest, but no, in that year, which this was like huge for me, in that first year of sobriety and learning to love myself, like I finally realized like, wow, me and this guy, like, actually don't mesh at all. Like, what, and also, like, I was with him for so long. Like, it was like we were together for, I don't even know how long. It was a lot of years. We got together when I was like 15, and we were on and off.
Wow.
Yeah. There was a lot of, like, and there was off, and then, you know, like, when I'm in college and he's in the army, and, like, there was a lot that had happened, and a lot of wrong, I'm sure, on both of our parts, but also I was a blackout drinker, so I don't remember.
Yeah.
But also, like, I feel like I've always valued relationships. I don't really know if I've ever strayed away, but who knows? When I'm drunk, I'm literally a completely different person.
Yeah.
So, yeah, but, like, in that year, I kind of was like, hey, like, this guy's going out drinking all the time, and this guy actually can't hold a conversation with me. Like, he actually doesn't want to. He doesn't care to. And so, yeah, but I still stayed because I didn't do, like, that's how, like the program too, it's like, it's given for fun and for free, and literally you can take it or you can not. And like, I halfway took it. I want to make some changes, but I don't want to fully change. And yeah. And so what ended up happening was that I didn't set healthy boundaries. I didn't well, again, in like, that also is I was new in sobriety. I just didn't know. Like,
I want to ask something else.
Yeah.
Because it's the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
Because it goes around that question too. Is you're saying you were with the same guy? Mm-hmm. Did your sponsor let you?
Yeah.
She's like, let you do your own thing, or when you came for help, was she like, well, Amber, I don't suggest you be with the guy?
No,
or
and that's a good question, because that's the part of the half-ass for me that I did. So like, I would tell my sponsor some things, but I wouldn't tell her all of it. So I wouldn't tell her that he wasn't like treating me well, or that, I don't know, I think this guy's cheating on me. I'm pretty sure. I was so full of fear of like
her saying, leave him.
Of my loved ones being judged, that I was unwilling to be honest in order to help myself. Like, that really is what it came down to. So yeah, so I stayed for far too long. I found out that he was on Tinder when like Tinder first came out, and but that for my best friend too. And that's another thing too. It was my sister, my mom, and my best friend. She stayed with me, like, even in the tough times. She would carry me and pick me up, and like, no one wanted to be around me, but they like loved me anyways. They did what sobriety, like what AA does for us without any AA. And so, you know, and so she was like, I have something to show you, because I was telling her that like I didn't know what to do and whatever, and she's like, I have something to show you. And it was.
And how much time sober did you have?
Probably like 8 months.
When that happened?
I probably had like 8 months.
First year.
Mm-hmm.
So then how did you, when you found that out, did you call your sponsor? How did you maneuver through that and stay sober?
No, I was self-willed, run riot. And so I don't suggest it, but that's my story.
Yeah.
It's because I've lived both sides now, which is so fucking cool to see. Like, it's cool to say, because I have experience that I can like tell my girls, like tell my sponsees and be like, dude, I've lived that. I've literally lived that without guidance. And I've also like, I've also listened to suggestion, and like, this is what's come from it. So yeah, no, I did not tell my sponsor. I was like, that's cute. I don't even know, you know? And so, but that gave me enough to be like, yeah, I think this is it. And so a few months later was when it was like a little over a year, was when I found out about like another job opportunity in a different city, and I fucking took it. I would not have taken it if I would have stayed with him. Probably my whole life trajectory would have been different. So
you didn't leave him until you got the job?
No, I left him. And then I found out about the job a couple months after.
Okay, so you left him when you saw the Tinder
So
thing.
you opened opportunity into your life.
Absolutely. Yes. God was doing for me what I couldn't do for myself. So
would you say that there's a pattern in that? Or no, because that's the only boyfriend you've ever had.
Yeah.
Oh, that was the only thing you've ever known.
Mm-hmm. Well, there was a couple. No. That's false. That's not the truth. There was a couple guys that like, because like I said, we were on and off. So like, we were on, and then I found out that he was cheating, so we broke up for like a year. And mind you, this was all I was very young, but again, I would be in relationships with, I wouldn't even really call them relationships because they were like a few months, but again, I got what I like needed out of it. I don't think that I was like a taker necessarily, but it's like you also don't value relationships until you're a little older.
Yeah, you picked the ones that said, oh, she drinks a lot, but she's hot.
It's fine.
But she's hot.
Right. I'll take it.
Yeah.
She's a little funny.
You're like, yeah. They're like, keep drinking.
Yeah. Take your top off. Yeah. And it worked. Until we both, that was the thing too, until we both were like, okay, whatever, like, well, we're both single at this time, I guess we'll just, it was just that total, codependent, and that's the thing too, I, like, only wish this guy well now, and that's only because of, like, working
Doing
steps.
work, yeah.
Oh, yeah, and realizing that there was so much fault on my behalf too, like, it wasn't about the cheating, it wasn't about all the things, it was just, like, I was so selfish and just needed someone physically in my life so I didn't feel alone, and that's what I learned in AA too, was that there's a difference between being lonely and being alone.
Yeah.
I was never alone. I was full of people. There was people I just felt so lonely that I needed to fill that void, whether that was, and that was like in my addiction and in early sobriety too. So once I learned that difference, it's like my whole life changed. I felt whole. Once I felt whole, it's like I could do things now without feeling like I needed someone. So.
Do you still have the same sponsor?
No.
Because you moved.
Yes,
Aww.
I moved, and I love my sponsor with
You know
all
what?
my heart.
I picture this, like, big, like, burly lesbian
No.
in the woods being like, good job, Amber.
No, but she is a badass. She's
in the
like
forest.
In the forest.
in the forest. No, I love her. So we actually I got sober before her, my sponsor now. So I got sober before her. We met in Palmdale, and I think I have like a year more than her, 9 months. I think it's 9 months. Yeah, I have like 9 months more than her. But anyways, she came in. I was like, fuck yeah, another young girl. Because mind you, like when I got sober in Palmdale, it was 50 or above. Like I was like on my own. And that's the same with like my trudging buddy that like came in too. When she came in, I was like, oh my gosh, I hope she stays. Because there was not a lot of young people. It's like nowadays there's a lot of young people. It's crazy.
Especially in Orange County.
Yeah.
We're so lucky.
And it's so like, the fact that it's more, well, and it's social media too. The fact that more and more people know that like sobriety for young people is possible. It's like, obviously it's like more and more people are willing to explore that at a younger age. I think it's amazing.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's super cool what you guys are doing. That's like, it's amazing. And so, but yeah, my sponsor is like just a few years older than I am. And like, I always wanted what she had because she was stern. She was a badass. The men were afraid of her. Like she just like, but it came natural to her. Yeah, it just came natural to her. She was also so heavily involved in like the book and like solution. And so I like, although I was still low key scared of her, I was like, okay, but I love her. I love her. And like, I want what she has because she walks around with such like dignity and like sureness of herself. I just wanted that. And I knew that I needed to change that too. And so she is still my sponsor to today, and I love her, and I talk to her all the time. And like,
you didn't get her until like
I got her
4 years ago, right?
Yeah, I got.
Who was before? Was it still the forest lady?
Yeah, the forest lady. Yeah,
I love that
it was the forest lady.
Only
Forest,
you,
so
because
you
we're
were
about
with
forest fires.
Miss Forest Ranger, ma'am.
Yeah.
Well,
so
no,
she was your sponsor. For like 5 years.
Yeah. So I had Forest Ranger. And then I moved up to Mammoth, and then I got a sponsor there. But like asked me if I did any work with her. That was not her at all. That wasn't her fault. That was me. That was me. I just knew I needed a sponsor to say I had a sponsor. But like the importance in that is that when I moved back to this area, I was so broken and like I just wasn't okay with the way that, like, with myself. I was so fearful, so anxiety ridden. And that's just like all of the isms that have not been treated because like, it's like meetings are amazing, but they can only do so much. Yeah. I needed to do more internal work. And that's why the sponsor that I had in the beginning, she really helped me at a time like with exactly what I believe that she helped me exactly the way that I needed to be helped. But the sponsor that I have today was able to break through like childhood pieces of like, where this fear and anxiety stems, and we were able to work through it together. Like I have never felt alone with my sponsor. I feel so, even though she's a badass and she's scary to other people, I feel so safe around her and so like she's so non-judgmental and like, yeah, I'm super grateful, but I needed that because I need that swift kick in the ass. I need that like, okay, well, are you doing this? And it's like, oh yeah. It's a very simple, like even driving here and I'm like, I'm full of fear because I'm on a podcast and all the things. And she literally was like, okay.
Oh, you called her?
Yes, I called her on my way. I'm going to a podcast. I'm going to Breezy. She told me to tell you. She's hi. and she's like, it sounds like you're full of fear right now. Like, it literally sounds like you're full of fear. So you need to turn it over. And I was like, no, you're right. You're so right. So, and that's what I did.
There'll be some hood bitch from Palmdale that needs to hear the same thing.
No, period.
So true.
Yeah.
So what I want to focus on of your first year, which is so unique, is getting sober at 21 years old in a small town with people 50 and above.
Mm-hmm.
There's people out there that are going through the exact same thing. Even though it's normalized now, there's still people in small towns across the United States that are 21, they walk into an AA meeting and they look at everyone else and they notice the differences and not the similarities.
I'm not like them.
And they get the fuck out.
Yeah.
And also I remember one of my past therapists, he was also in the program, and he said, if I didn't find my friends in like my community, there's no way I would have stayed.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, how does someone like you walk into a meeting with all these people that, like, you aren't like, hey, we're going to go hang out and go to a movie after this? Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. How do you overcome that? How did you stay sober in an environment that wasn't like it is down here, where we have a million fucking friends and we walk in and we're definitely not the youngest people in the room anymore, you know?
That's a good question.
No, that's a really good question. And I would say
that's why I'm really good.
Great job. Well, and I just have to preface by saying that the sobriety that I have today is not the sobriety that I had back then. Like the unity, the friendships, the quality friendships that I have today. I can't even look at you for too long without crying with that, because we care, because we genuinely care, because we can actually have conversations with each other. But like, what I needed to do was to get out of myself and be willing, because I wanted to stay sober. So at the time, that did mean getting involved with the older people and mopping up floors. Like, I did what I needed to do in order to stay sober. And so that was fun. That was my fun. Like, I literally, once like, I want to say after 90 days was, I believe, the first time that I was able to be like, okay, I can breathe, where I was able to breathe and not like, the obsession, I believe the obsession was lifted in community labor. And as I was picking up trash, I literally was like, wow, I haven't thought about drinking in a day. And that was baffling to me, because I couldn't, like, the anxiety, everything, it was just all too much. And so for that, it's like, I needed to get involved. I went to Young People's, that wasn't even where I found my trudging buddy. There, you know, my friend Frances came trudging along, and I could say her name because I have asked her and she's totally fine with that. But she came trudging along, and she'd go in and out, and I'd be like, damn it, come on, girl. Because I really it's important to find a community no matter what. And so I had that community, but then it was just an older community, and we did that. We went to the luncheons and we did all the things. Like, I did whatever I needed to do. But then, she's still one of my best friends to this day, but she came in and she finally got sober. She's also like I think she's 10 months younger than me. But anyway, she came in and she's my fucking ride or die. Like, I love that girl. She's living her best life in New York. She's a teacher. And this is like she was coming from like a continuation school in Palmdale. And like, she's just like, it's incredible. She's doing big things. And she went to college. She did all the things. And all on 100% on her own. She's like, she's just made it work and put one foot in front of the other and stayed connected.
So you went to Young People's?
Yeah.
But
in between, so you connected at the people, like the two older guys, you connected with them.
In the beginning.
But you're saying you connected with them because you were done.
Yeah.
Like, there was nothing else.
No.
Then after you were sober and you felt okay, you sought out other stuff.
Yeah, I needed more.
Yeah.
I needed more. And that's been like a common theme too, which I think is natural in sobriety, where like, through these 10 years, it's like,
what's over there?
Yeah.
Right. It's like, I'm just needing to fill a little bit more inside. And so I was like, you know what? I'm going to do the uncomfortable thing. Because of course because I'm not working the program that we can work. I'm just working a little bit of it, which I was getting some relief. Yeah. Like, I did what I needed to do at there. Whatever. I got what I needed to get at that time. But like, I was like, you know what? I'm going to go a city over to Lancaster, California.
Oh, that's bigger.
Not much better.
With a golf and stuff. And IndyCar racing.
I want to say it's like one of the like top meth capitals of the world, other than like Stockton.
Was that the question you were asking?
Yeah. So the young people's that's
on fire meeting.
That was in Lancaster.
Mm-hmm. And that was after you were like, I'm done. I have to be here with these old people.
Oh yeah.
Or else I'll die.
That was when I was like, okay, I kind of like these old people.
Yeah.
I like these old people. We can hang out. Yeah.
It looks weird, but if you stay, those old people are funny.
Yeah, and you know what? They remember me
and
every time I go visit them.
They're like oh they're like, hey, toots.
Yeah. No, literally.
They're like, how are you? Fucking stayed sober.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I feel like we also give them a lot of hope because I got sober at 24 and it was a little bit of the same experience for me. Like my home groups, I wasn't attracted to the young people's meetings. I would go and I'd be like, all I hear is bitching, complaining, no solution whatsoever. And I really wanted to stay sober. That's why I asked the question. Like, so I would go to the meetings where it was all older people because they had so much more wisdom, so much more solution. And the more work I put in, the closer I got to them. They like actually wanted to bring me in. And I was like, oh, this is sick.
And more relief.
Yeah, more relief. And I feel like had I stuck around in the young people's meetings, I don't know if I would have stayed sober.
Sometimes people get lost.
Yeah, I would have.
The mix.
I would have been hooking up with all the wrong people and all the drama and who knows.
People means men and women.
No, and that's true too. I very much with the young people. I was like, oh no, thank you. Like because I really did. I just wanted to stay sober. I didn't really I'm like, no, I'm good. Yeah. And I feel like there's a level of vulnerability that you can have with an older group, with people that you like. Yeah. That I like.
You're thinking too much of ego.
And anxiety, worry, whatever, all the things.
I would go into the young people's meetings and I would notice my brain would shift and I would be looking at the dudes and I'm like, why is he with that girl? She's not even pretty.
I'm like, I'm going to show
Oh shit, it's my time to read. Yeah, like you're not even like focusing on
I can't even read because I'm so
you know
nervous
what I would do?
looking at me.
Right.
I would share to look good.
Yes.
I'd be like, oh, I was in this orgy last weekend.
Yes.
So then all the guys would know that I'm like sex and orgy. Yeah. And I'm like, wait, maybe I shouldn't share about that because my intention is to tell the men.
I wasn't even well enough to know that my intention was bad.
Well, no, that's
you know what I mean? Like, but I knew the way I felt.
That was my shoes.
I knew that I didn't feel good in those meetings.
Yeah.
And so I would go back to where I felt safe.
Which I feel like that also is like in the beginning of the sobriety, those feelings that you start to feel. Because like when I was drinking, I didn't give a shit. I literally didn't care. Nothing, everything.
I didn't care about feeling safe.
No.
I always felt unsafe.
No, exactly. Exactly. So like in that, it's like, oh, I don't really feel good. And that's a new emotion. But following through with that too is amazing.
Well, and also what we're talking about now and we look back is like, I went to those meetings and then I didn't want to go to the gay meeting because I was insecure. I didn't want them to talk about me. Yeah. But now I know what I know and I can articulate information. I go to those meetings to help people.
Bring solutions.
So then I go to the young meetings, I go to the gay meetings.
Yeah.
And they're good, but when it starts drifting off into like, I don't know, my transgender identity, I'm like, there's another meeting for that. We're here to talk about Alcoholics Anonymous.
Right.
And maneuvering through being gay and Alcoholics Anonymous, not transitioning.
Yeah.
Which is okay, but that's why there's people to kind of bring the meeting back.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. We're those old timers that are doing that now.
Well,
oh my God, we are. And everyone's like, that fucking faggot.
Yeah.
Shut up.
But so Amber and I go to a Women's Tuesday night meeting and there's so many young women in that
and
meeting.
You guys are the Karens.
And we totally
we're like one tier down from the Karens. We're like oh, you probably shouldn't do it. We'll speak up if the people that normally speak up don't speak up. Then we'll speak up.
That's very true. But we like, I feel like our shares, we're bringing the solution because the format is we allow the newcomers to speak up until 7:35, and then after that, people with over a year get to share. And I love that because it's a perfect balance of newcomers and then the people with time can share and like really relate back to the newcomers, which I feel like is kind of where this idea came from for this podcast is like listening to what they're needing and being like, oh, well, we should bring that to other
Yeah.
people who are in Palmdale who
Instead
are
of
by
sharing
themselves.
at you.
Yeah,
Mhm.
they're
Yeah.
they're by themselves. They think they're the only 21-year-old trying to get sober, and they don't know
Mhm.
how to get sober because, well, I can't relate to this fucking 65-year-old male who
In this
is
cafeteria with no air conditioning.
yeah,
Yeah.
and it's like, hey, guess what? Other people fucking did it, and you're not unique.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you don't have
Yeah.
an excuse anymore.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's what's so cool about getting sober young and being able to really share about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love this. So, Jimmy, what is your routine question? Because I feel like you haven't asked anyone that in a long time.
I haven't asked it because people have been answering it.
Oh.
But you know what?
I answered
She
it?
doesn't have a routine in her active addiction. But I want to know your routine in your sobriety.
Mm-hmm.
Because your active addiction was so short
Mm-hmm.
that I don't really know you really...
Well, no. So that was the 6 months from my DUI to that. But yeah, it was
No,
scary.
that's short.
Yeah, no, I'm saying when I got so I started drinking though at like 15.
Yeah, but when you're 15, you really don't have a routine.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, it's like you're just following a little bit. When I say routine, I'm like, okay, you have literally been doing the same pattern over and over. You can't stay sober, or you know, it's not letting you be active in your program or something. I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't know if from 15 to 21 you really had a routine.
No.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I didn't have one. I found out my routine more
in sobriety.
Well, I mean, I kept relapsing,
Yeah.
but that's my story. But you didn't have a lot of relapse.
No.
So then I want to know what your routine...
Yeah, my routine is more so in my sobriety too.
In your
so I get what
sobriety,
you're saying.
yeah.
I follow you.
Yeah, so do you have a routine in your sobriety that actually help you stay have long-term sobriety that you're like, meaning character defects that popped up and you're like, oh my God, this is what I do.
Yeah.
And I will not stay sober if I keep doing these behaviors.
Okay, and I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah,
That makes perfect sense. So
Okay.
yes, and that's true. So in that short time, I was so riddled with fear and anxiety that routine carries on. Obviously, we all know in
Through
the
your
sobriety.
yeah.
So I'm like not drinking anymore. I'm still so fearful. I'm still so like my ego. I swear to God, I could have told anyone like, oh, I don't have an ego. I love all. I was so full of like, oh my God, what do these people think of me and all the things. It's like all of those things I still have. So in my sobriety, I was able to work through some steps. And then also it's like in loving myself, which took some time. Like getting sober didn't just magically make me this like dynamite. I'm not this dynamite human being now. I'm kind and I'm a listener and I'm loving.
Yeah.
I'm able to give now to like friendships and family. Yeah. And so I think that routine for me is spot checking, and my sponsor is gonna literally watch this and bust up laughing because she's like, where to call that though?
Spot checking.
Yeah.
So you said ego. So remember what I shared is like over time I would share to look good. And then I stopped sharing because I worked on that character defect, and now I'm quiet unless I feel a compelling need to say something.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Similar?
Yeah. And for me, it's like being honest with myself. So if I'm feeling a certain type of way, the way that before I would drink or use, whether it was like, I'm feeling a certain type of way, I don't want to feel this way anymore, I need to drink. And like, nowadays, I run shit by people that I love, whether it's loved ones, whether it's my sponsor. I'm like, hey, I'm feeling really buggy right now. I don't like this feeling. Yeah. And going over it with someone. We work through it together.
Say, oh, it might be ego, fear, because those are your triggers. Your
financial
triggers.
Pocketbook, like the things, and that we go through. And like, these are things, again, that even though you like work the steps, it's like, these things don't just go away. They happen. It's life, literally.
And they'll still keep coming up, but instead of taking weeks, it takes 2 weeks to get away, 1 week, days, hours, minutes.
Yeah.
So you're
and I'm noticing it's like in honesty too. That's another huge routine of mine that's new, like fairly new in the last few years. I'm not talking about like I'm dishonest about like what the grandiose things. I'm talking like I'm feeling unhappy today. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not feeling okay. But then my friend sees me at a meeting and it's like, hey, how are you? And I'm like, I'm good. How are you? Because I don't want to talk about me.
Yeah.
No, it's like I have to be honest with my friends because they are the ones that are able to help me out. It's like you get these really good friendships in sobriety too. And along with the sponsor too, it's like I have to be honest. Because I'm only doing myself a disservice by not being honest. It's like,
of course.
And it's like just for me too, and what I say to my sponsees, it's like I'm here to be there for you. Like I am a listening ear. So it's like we're literally only shooting ourselves in the foot by not just being honest with the other people. And it's crazy because it's like that too I can say and then not do. Like this is not a perfect program. So it's like there'll be times when I'm quiet and then like I'll call my sponsor and she'll be like, yep, like I haven't heard from you in a few days. Because again, she's going to let me run my course. I'm going to have my own experience with everything. But then when it gets bad, it's like, you know, it doesn't have to get that bad. And that's what she's told me too. It doesn't have to get that bad. So
well, we're running out of time, but Breezy we have a last question.
Yes, queen. Yeah. I guess it's like a twofold question. What was one thing that you were told in the beginning of your sobriety that really affected you and you can still kind of remember today? And what would you like to say to that 21-year-old out in the middle of nowhere? What's the hope that you can bring to them?
I'm gonna cry. No, I'm not gonna cry. I just I picture myself at 21 and like, wow, like I'm gonna be 32 in a month, in like a month and a half, whatever. But that really, it just matters about where you're at and keep your feet. When I first got sober, they said you keep your feet planted and it's one foot in front of the other. And like, that sounds so cliche, but it was so, when you get it, when you're ready to get it, for me, that was like life changing because I'd heard it all the time. I just didn't listen. Yeah. But when putting one foot in front of the other, the hard shit, it ends up going away, that hard shit. And then we deal with other hard shit in our life, but we're able to manage it better when we have some tools because we've stayed in the rooms and because we've stayed sober, because we're able to practice what we've learned. And to the 21-year-old too, it is not too young. You are never too young to get sober. Old people would deal with I don't even want to call them old people. Sorry guys, sorry Palmdale group. Old timers would be like, you're so lucky. You're so lucky that you got sober. And
that's
I'm like,
what it
okay,
is.
I'm like, thanks.
To
really?
The 21-year-old.
Yeah.
You're so lucky.
You are so lucky.
Yeah.
So lucky because, oh my God, my life in the last 10 years, amazing, like incredible. I've had more fun by far in that 10 years than my whole life. I've gone to so many concerts, done so many things, had so many good friendships, and it's all like directly responsible directly a cause of my sobriety. So
and me and Amber and our other two besties and her twin sister and her other friend are all going to Stagecoach this weekend.
Oh,
we're so excited! Yes! Oh, I'm so excited. They've met before. Yeah, they've met before, but it's gonna be so much fun. Yeah,
so it's like
you're gonna go party.
If you're 21 and you think you're never gonna have fun again, you're so
you can go to Stagecoach with their group.
Oh hell yeah, and stay up all night.
DM Amber and Breezy.
Yeah. No,
coming
absolutely.
out with us. We would love it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you, bestie. I love
Thank you for having me. I love you guys so much.
You're perfect.
Yeah,
and I'm Breezy.
And I'm Jimmy.
And we are
Sober Disclosure.
Like, subscribe, follow us on YouTube.
I have to pee really bad.
TikTok.
Bye.
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 This episode is brought to you by Light Salon, Orange County's premier destination for expert hair color. At Light Salon, we specialize in creating stunning custom color transformations that highlight your natural beauty. Owned and operated by passionate, sober stylists, we bring authenticity, creativity, and precision to every client experience. Light Salon.